My cousin dropped off her newborn at my house just for the weekend. That was 25 years ago. While she chased men across state lines, I raised him as my own. Yesterday, he surprised me and my husband with our dream house. And now, my cousin is back, demanding we hand over the keys, saying, he's my son. That's my house. I just laughed and hung up. Picture this, I'm 28 years old, newly married to my husband Mark, and we're struggling with infertility. We've been trying for 3 years, going through treatments, and basically watching our savings disappear into the black hole of fertility clinics. It's a Friday evening in late October 1999, and I'm curled up on the couch feeling sorry for myself when there's a frantic knock at our door. Enter my cousin Jessica. She's 22, single, and holding a tiny baby who can't be more than 2 weeks old. Her mascara is running, she's got a duffel bag slung over her shoulder, and she's practically vibrating with nervous energy. Sarah, thank God you're home, she says, pushing past me into our living room. I need the biggest favor of my life. Can you watch little Danny for the weekend? I met this guy, his name is Rick, and he's driving cross-country to start a new job in California. He asked me to come with him, and this could be it, you know? This could be my chance at real love. I'm standing there, mouth agape, staring at this beautiful baby boy who's making soft little noises. My husband Mark comes downstairs, takes one look at the situation, and I can see his protective instincts kick in immediately. Jessica, I say carefully, you can't just take off across the country with some guy you just met. And what about Danny? He's so tiny. That's why I need you. She interrupts. You and Mark would be perfect. You've always wanted kids, and you're so good with babies. It's just for the weekend, Sarah. Maybe a week at most. Rick's going to get settled, find us a place, and then I'll come back for Danny. We'll all be together, a real family. Mark and I exchange glances. The baby starts to fuss, and without thinking, I reach out and take him. He settles immediately in my arms, and I feel something shift in my chest. This perfect little person, with his tiny fingers and that new baby smell. I don't know, Jess, Mark says. This seems really sudden. Maybe you should think about this more. But Jessica is already heading for the door. I've left everything you need in the bag, formula, diapers, clothes, even his birth certificate in case you need to take him to a doctor. Your family, Sarah. You're the only person I trust with him. And just like that, she's gone. We hear her car start and drive away, leaving us standing there with a 2-week-old baby and a growing sense of dread. Those early days were a blur of sleepless nights, doctor appointments, and constantly checking my phone for updates from Jessica. She'd call sporadically, always from a different number, always with some excuse about why she couldn't come back yet. Rick's job fell through, but we found something in Nevada. We're in Arizona now. Rick's cousin has a business opportunity. Denver is amazing, Sarah. Rick thinks we should stay here for a while. Each call, I'd ask when she was coming back for Danny. Each time, it was soon or next month or once we get settled. The calls became less frequent. Then they stopped altogether. Mark and I fell into a routine. We took Danny to his pediatrician appointments, got him vaccinated, enrolled him in our health insurance. Legally, we couldn't make any major decisions without Jessica's consent, but when months turned into a year with no contact, we consulted a family lawyer. The lawyer explained that while we didn't have formal custody, Jessica's abandonment was creating a complicated situation. We could file for temporary guardianship, which we did. When Jessica didn't respond to the court summons, because we had no way to reach her, the court granted us temporary custody. Danny was the light of our lives. He took his first steps in our living room, said his first word, to Mark, which made my husband cry, and started calling us Mama and Papa by the time he was 2. We enrolled him in preschool, signed him up for Little League, helped him with homework, and tucked him in every single night. When Danny was 5, he asked about his real mommy. We had age-appropriate conversations about how some families look different, and that sometimes mommies need help taking care of their babies. We never spoke poorly of Jessica, we simply said that she had needed to go away for a while, and we were lucky enough to get to take care of him. As Danny got older, the questions became more complex. We were always honest with him, showing him pictures of Jessica from before he was born, explaining that she was young and felt overwhelmed. We made sure he knew he was loved and wanted, even if the circumstances of how he came to us were unusual. Throughout all of this, Jessica was a ghost. No birthday cards, no Christmas presents, no phone calls. It was like she had vanished from the face of the earth. Mark and I eventually went through the legal process to adopt Danny formally when he was 8. Since Jessica had abandoned him and we couldn't locate her despite hiring a private investigator, the court terminated her parental rights and finalized our adoption. Danny excelled at everything he touched. He was valedictorian of his high school class, earned a full scholarship to engineering school, and graduated summa cum laude. He got a job at a major tech company right out of college and quickly moved up the ranks. More importantly, he grew up to be kind, thoughtful, and generous. He called us every week during college, came home for holidays, and always remembered our anniversary and birthdays. He brought home girlfriends for us to meet, asked for Mark's advice about everything from career decisions to mortgage rates, and consulted me about decorating his first apartment. 3 years ago, he met Emma, a wonderful woman who works as a pediatric nurse. She fit into our family perfectly, and when Danny proposed last year, we couldn't have been happier. They had a beautiful wedding last spring, and Emma has embraced us as her in-laws completely. Mark and I have been talking about downsizing for a while. We're both 53 now, and our big family home feels too empty with Danny grown and gone. We've been casually looking at condos and smaller houses, but nothing really caught our eye. Plus, the market is so competitive that everything decent gets snapped up immediately. Which brings us to yesterday morning. Danny called and asked if he and Emma could come over for lunch. Nothing unusual, they come by most Sundays. But when they arrived, they both had these weird, excited expressions, like they were bursting with a secret. After we finished eating, Danny cleared his throat. "Mom, Dad, Emma and I have something we want to talk to you about." My heart immediately went to pregnancy announcements, but Emma shook her head with a laugh. "Not that kind of announcement." Danny pulled out his phone and showed us a photo of a beautiful craftsman-style house with a wraparound porch, mature oak trees, and a garden that looked like something out of Better Homes and Gardens. "This house went on the market last week," Danny said. "It's in that neighborhood you guys always drive through and admire. You know, the one with the tree-lined streets where you said you'd love to live someday?" Mark and I nodded. We did love that neighborhood, but houses there were way out of our price range. "Emma and I put in an offer," Danny continued. "We got it." I was confused. "That's wonderful, honey, but I thought you two loved your current place?" Danny and Emma exchanged glances, and then Emma spoke up. "We do love our place. But this house isn't for us. It's for you." The words took a moment to sink in. Mark grabbed my hand as Danny continued talking. "You two gave me everything. You took me in when my biological mother abandoned me, you raised me, you supported me through school, you taught me what real love and commitment look like. You sacrificed your own dreams of a smaller family so you could give me the best life possible." I started crying. I couldn't help it. "Emma and I have been planning this for months. We've been saving up, and with my promotion and the bonuses from the last 2 years, we can afford it. We want to buy you your dream home. Consider it a very late thank you gift for the best 25 years of my life." Mark was crying too now. We both tried to protest, it was too much, we couldn't accept it, they should save their money for their own future. But Danny and Emma were insistent. "The closing is next month," Emma said. "We've already arranged for movers, and Danny has some vacation time saved up to help you pack and settle in." We spent the rest of the afternoon looking at photos of the house, talking about decorating plans, and feeling overwhelmed by our son's generosity. It was one of the happiest days of my life. This morning, I was still floating on cloud 9 when my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but something made me answer it. "Sarah? It's Jessica." I literally dropped the phone. After 25 years of complete silence, my cousin was calling me like no time had passed at all. "Jessica? Where are you? How did you get this number?" "I'm back in town," she said, and her voice sounded exactly the same as it did that night she dropped Danny off. "I heard through the grapevine that Danny's doing really well for himself. Sounds like he's some kind of tech hotshot now?" My blood started to run cold. "How did you hear that?" "Oh, you know how family gossip travels. Aunt Marlene mentioned something at a wedding last month. Anyway, I was thinking it's time Danny and I got reacquainted. I mean, I am his mother." I took a deep breath. "Jessica, you abandoned him. You left him with us for a weekend and never came back. We adopted him legally 8 years later." "Oh, that," she laughed, like it was no big deal. I was young and confused. Rick and I had some great adventures, but things didn't work out. I'm ready to be a mom now, though." "Ready to be a mom?" "Jessica, Danny is 25 years old. He's married. He doesn't need a mom to show up now. Everyone needs their mother, Sarah. Besides, I heard he just bought a house. A really nice one. Sounds like my son has done very well for himself." The way she said my son made my skin crawl. And then she kept talking. "I've been going through some financial difficulties lately, and I think it's time Danny helped out his real mother. I mean, I did give birth to him. The least he can do is share some of his success with me." "Are you serious right now?" I couldn't keep the incredulity out of my voice. "Dead serious. I want to meet with Danny this week. And I'll be needing somewhere to stay while I get back on my feet. That new house of his sounds perfect." "Jessica, that house isn't for Danny. He bought it for Mark and me." There was a pause. "Then, he bought you a house? With my son's money?" "With his money. Danny is our son now, Jessica. We raised him. We adopted him. You have no legal claim to him or anything he does. We'll see about that, she said, and her voice turned ugly. I've been talking to a lawyer. Apparently, there are some questions about whether that adoption was completely legitimate since I was never properly notified. My heart started pounding. You were served papers. You didn't respond. I never got any papers. I was traveling? How could I respond to something I never received? This was clearly a lie, but the threat was implicit. She was going to try to cause legal trouble. What do you want, Jessica? I want to meet my son. I want him to know his real mother is back. And I think it's only fair that he share his good fortune with the woman who gave him life. Maybe he could put me up in that nice new house while I figure out my next steps. The audacity was breathtaking. 25 years of complete abandonment, and now she wanted to waltz back in and claim not just a relationship with Danny, but a piece of his success. That's not going to happen, I said firmly. Oh, I think it is. See, I've done some research on Danny. He seems like a really good guy, the kind of guy who would want to do right by his mother. I bet if I reached out to him directly, told him my side of the story, he'd be very interested in helping me out. The threat was clear. She was going to try to manipulate Danny's good nature and guilt him into giving her money and a place to stay. And if he's not interested? I asked. Well, then maybe I'll have to explore my legal options. Like I said, I'd been talking to a lawyer about that adoption. Seems like there might be grounds to challenge it. Could get messy. Expensive. Stressful for everyone involved. She was threatening to drag us through a legal battle unless Danny paid her off. Classic extortion. Jessica, you can't just show up after 25 years and demand money. I'm not demanding money, she said sweetly. I'm asking my successful son to help his mother who fell on hard times. And I think that nice house he just bought would be perfect for me to stay in while I get back on my feet. After all, he bought it with money he earned using the life I gave him. That house is for Mark and me. Danny bought it as a gift to thank us for raising him. Raising my son. With my genetics. My contribution to his life. I was so angry I could barely speak. Your contribution? You left him as a baby and disappeared for 25 years. I made a sacrifice, she said. I let better parents raise him because I knew they could give him opportunities I couldn't. Now that sacrifice has paid off, and it's time for me to reap some of the benefits. The rewriting of history was stunning. She was actually trying to frame her abandonment as some kind of noble sacrifice. You're delusional if you think that's how this is going to work. We'll see. I'm planning to call Danny tomorrow. I found his work number online. I'll introduce myself and tell him how much I've missed him all these years. How I've been watching his success from afar and how proud I am. I bet he'll be very interested in meeting me. My stomach turned. Danny had such a good heart. If Jessica played her cards right, she might actually be able to manipulate him, at least initially. And then, Jessica continued, I'll mention how I'm going through a rough patch and could really use some help. Maybe a place to stay in that beautiful house I heard he bought for his adoptive parents. After all, I'm sure he'll want to do something nice for his real mother too. You're unbelievable. I'm practical. Look, Sarah, you and Mark did a good job raising him. I'm grateful for that. But he's my blood, and now that he's successful, it's time for his real family to be part of his life. I'm not asking for everything, just my fair share. Your fair share of what? You contributed nothing to his life except DNA. DNA matters. Biology matters. And legally, I might still have more rights than you think. The threat was becoming clearer. She was going to try to emotionally manipulate Danny while simultaneously threatening legal action against Mark and me. Jessica, if you try to hurt Danny or cause problems for our family, I will fight you with everything I have. I don't want to hurt anyone, she said innocently. I just want to reconnect with my son and maybe get a little help during a difficult time in my life. I think staying in that house would be perfect, lots of room, and it would give Danny and me a chance to really get to know each other. That house is our retirement home. Danny bought it as a gift to his parents, his real parents, who actually raised him. His adoptive parents, she corrected. I'm his real mother. And I think when I explain the situation to him, he'll understand that the right thing to do is to share that house with me. After all, if it weren't for me, he wouldn't exist to be successful in the first place. I couldn't take any more. Jessica, you're not getting the house, you're not getting money, and you're not going to manipulate Danny. We're his family. You're nothing to him. We'll see about that, she said coldly. I'll be calling him tomorrow. And Sarah, you might want to think about whether you really want to get into a legal battle with me over that adoption. Like I said, my lawyer thinks there might be some irregularities. And then she said the words that made me see red. He's my son. That's my house. That's when I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. What's so funny? She demanded. You, I said. You're funny. You think you can disappear for 25 years and then show up demanding houses and money because you gave birth to someone? You think you can threaten the people who actually raised your son and somehow come out ahead? I'm his mother. No, I interrupted. You're the woman who gave birth to him and then abandoned him. I'm his mother. Mark is his father. We're the ones who got up with him when he was sick. We're the ones who taught him to ride a bike and helped him with his homework and attended every single one of his baseball games. We're the ones he calls when he has good news to share. But you're a stranger to him, Jessica. A stranger who wants to use him for money. And you know what? Even if you somehow managed to guilt him into helping you initially, it wouldn't last. Because Danny is smart, and he has good people around him who love him, and will help him see you for what you really are. And what's that? A parasite. Someone who contributes nothing but expects everything. Someone who thinks giving birth entitles her to 25 years of someone else's hard work. She was quiet for a moment, and then her voice got really nasty. Fine. Have it your way. But I'm still calling Danny tomorrow. And I'm still pursuing my legal options. We'll see how funny you think this is when you're paying lawyer fees and dealing with court dates. You know what, Jessica? Call him. Please. I actually hope you do. What? I hope you call Danny tomorrow. I hope you tell him exactly what you told me. I hope you demand money and threaten legal action and ask to live in the house he bought for us. Why would you want that? Because then he'll know exactly who you are. He'll see that you're not some long-lost mother who's been pining for him all these years. He'll see that you're someone who only showed up when she heard he had money. Someone who wants to take advantage of his success without having contributed anything to it. I was on a roll now, and 25 years of suppressed anger was coming out. Do you know what Danny's going to think when you call him? He's going to think about all the times he asked about his birth mother as a little boy. All the times he wondered why she never called or sent a birthday card. All the nights he went to bed wondering if there was something wrong with him that made his mother not want him. I never said I didn't want him. Your actions said it. Every single day for 25 years, your silence said it. And now that he's successful and happy and settled, you want to come back and claim credit? You want to take a piece of what he's built? I have a right. You have no rights, I shouted. You gave up any rights you had when you walked out that door 25 years ago and never looked back. Danny doesn't owe you anything. Not money, not a relationship, not a place to live, nothing. We'll see what he says about that. Yes, we will. And you know what I think he's going to say? I think he's going to listen to your sob story and your demands, and then he's going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you now: go to hell. You've poisoned him against me. I've never had to poison him against you, Jessica. You did that all by yourself by being absent his entire life. All I had to do was love him and be there for him. That was enough. There was a long pause, and then she played what she clearly thought was her trump card. Well, we'll see how much he loves you when I challenge that adoption in court. My lawyer says there are definitely grounds to question the validity. Says the notification process was flawed and that I could potentially have the adoption overturned. I laughed again. Go ahead. Try it. You don't think I will? Oh, I think you might try. But you know what you'll find? You'll find that we followed every legal requirement. You'll find that we made every effort to locate you. You'll find that the court bent over backwards to ensure your rights were protected before terminating them. And you know what else you'll find? You'll find that challenging a 17-year-old adoption of an adult who was legally abandoned as an infant is going to cost you a lot more money than you probably have. You'll find that no judge is going to be sympathetic to a woman who ignored court summons 17 years ago and is now trying to claim she never received them. I could hear her breathing getting faster, like she was getting angry. Most importantly, I continued, you'll find that Danny himself will have something to say about it. Because he's 25 years old now, Jessica. He's an adult. And if you somehow manage to overturn our adoption, which you won't, it wouldn't change anything. He'd still be our son in every way that matters. He'd still call us mom and dad. He'd still buy us houses and invite us to family dinners and call us when he needs advice. But legally, it wouldn't matter. You can't force a 25-year-old man to have a relationship with you. You can't force him to give you money or let you live in his house. All you'd accomplish is showing him, and everyone else, exactly what kind of person you really are. She was quiet for a long moment, and I could practically hear the wheels turning in her head. I'll still call him, she said finally. Good. I hope you do. Because I'm going to call him first. What? I'm going to call Danny tonight and tell him that his birth mother contacted me. I'm going to tell him exactly what you said, about wanting money, about demanding to live in our house, about threatening legal action. I'm going to let him decide if he wants to talk to you. You can't do that. Watch me. I'm not going to let you ambush my son with your manipulation and guilt trips. If you want to have a conversation with him, it's going to be an honest one. He'll never understand. He'll understand perfectly. Danny is smart, Jessica. Smarter than you're giving him credit for. He'll see right through you. I'm his mother. No, I said firmly. You're a stranger who gave birth to him. I'm his mother. And as his mother, I'm going to protect him from people who want to hurt him or take advantage of him. Including you. There was another long pause, and when she spoke again, her voice was shaky with rage. Fine. Tell him whatever you want. But I'm still calling him. And I'm still looking into my legal options. This isn't over. You're right, I agreed. It's not over. But it's going to end exactly the way it should, with you being shown the door by the son you abandoned, just like you showed yourself the door 25 years ago. And that's when I said the words that I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. He's not your son, Jessica. He's mine. And that's not your house. It never will be. And then I hung up. I immediately called Danny and told him everything. The conversation was hard. I could hear the pain in his voice as I recounted Jessica's demands and threats. But I could also hear something else: resolve. I can't believe she thinks she can just show up and demand money, he said. After all these years of nothing. She might still call you, I warned him. Let her. I know exactly what I'll say. Emma was there too. I could hear her voice in the background, offering support and comfort to her husband. Mom, Danny said, I want you to know that no matter what legal nonsense she tries to pull, it doesn't change anything. You and Dad are my parents. That house is yours. She has no claim on any of us. Mark and I talked late into the night about Jessica's threats. We decided that if she does try to challenge the adoption, we'll fight it. We have every document, every court filing, every piece of evidence showing that we followed proper procedures. More importantly, we have 25 years of being Danny's real parents. This morning, I'm still processing everything. Part of me is angry. How dare she try to swoop in now and claim credit for Danny's success? Part of me is sad. She missed out on knowing an incredible human being because she was too selfish to stick around. But mostly, I'm grateful. Grateful that Danny knows who his real family is. Grateful that we were able to give him the life he deserved. Grateful that he grew up to be someone who would buy his parents a dream house just to say thank you. Jessica can make all the legal threats she wants. She can try to guilt Danny or manipulate him or claim some biological right to his success. But at the end of the day, she's going to discover what Mark and I learned 25 years ago. Family isn't about biology. It's about showing up. It's about being there through the good times and the bad times. It's about love and commitment and sacrifice. And by that definition, Jessica isn't Danny's family. She never was. We are. Update: she actually called him. I'm adding this update because Jessica actually followed through on her threat and called Danny at work this afternoon. She apparently got his direct line from his company's website. According to Danny, the conversation went pretty much exactly as I expected. She started with the guilt trip, talking about how much she'd missed him, how she'd been thinking about him all these years, how proud she was of his success. Then she moved on to her difficult circumstances and how she could really use some help from her successful son. When Danny asked what kind of help she needed, she apparently said she was looking for somewhere to stay temporarily and had heard that he'd just bought a beautiful house that would be perfect for her to get back on her feet. Danny told her that the house was a gift for his parents, his real parents, who had actually raised him. That's when Jessica's mask came off. According to Danny, she started ranting about how he owed her because she gave him life, how Mark and I had stolen him from her, and how she had legal rights that she was prepared to pursue. Danny's response was perfect. Ma'am, I don't know who you think you are, but you're not my mother. My mother is the woman who got up with me when I had nightmares. My father is the man who taught me to throw a baseball. You're just someone who gave birth to me and then disappeared. And if you think you can show up now and make demands on me or my family, you're sadly mistaken. Apparently Jessica started crying and carrying on about how she was young and scared and made mistakes, but she was ready to be a mother now. Danny's response to that was even better. I don't need a mother now. I had one when I actually needed her. Her name is Sarah, and she's the woman you're trying to steal a house from. He told her not to contact him or anyone in our family again, and if she tried to pursue any legal action, he would hire the best lawyers money could buy to fight her. Then he hung up. He called me right after, and I've never been more proud of him. My son, knew exactly who his real family was and wasn't about to let some stranger take advantage of his good nature. So Jessica, if you're somehow reading this, and I know you're probably not, but just in case, you got your answer. The son you abandoned wants nothing to do with you. The house you try to claim will never be yours. And the family you tried to break apart is stronger than ever. You made your choice 25 years ago when you walked out that door. Now you get to live with the consequences. Final score: Real Family 1, Deadbeat Birth Mother 0. Edit: thank you all for the awards and supportive comments. Mark and I are reading through them together and feeling very grateful for this community. We're moving into our dream house next month, and Danny and Emma are helping us plan a housewarming party. Family, the real kind, is everything.